Today we're in the heart of Corrales, New Mexico, exploring a place where elegance and art converge. Welcome to Moon and Dove Gallery, a destination redefining artistic expression in the Southwest. Join me as we delve into this captivating gallery, and let's discover why it has become a cornerstone in Corrales' thriving art community. Upon entering, you're immediately struck by the gallery's inviting ambiance. Each artwork here tells a story, inviting viewers to connect on a personal level. Moon and Dove masterfully combine sophistication with approachability, making art accessible to all. In this section, it's one of the visionary's personal pieces that blend traditional Southwestern influences with modern techniques. Take a look at their one-of-a-kind collection. Each piece is uniquely crafted. Let's talk to one of the artists himself. So, tell us about your lovely piece here.
Well, I paint Chimayo quite often. It inspires me. The first time I saw it, I just went crazy and it developed more of a swishy style, just movement, a lot of movement, even though it's very stationary. This particular painting, when I did it, it tended to lean far to the right, so I decided to make it into a diptych and give it some breathing room. And it's the first time I ever painted the shed that the workmen use, and also the cottonwood trees. Then I had the frame made for it as a diptych, which holds it together even more in a way. I tend to do this old gravel yard, and rather than the concrete that they have now, and also the beautiful old wooden benches that they had when I first started painting it in the 80s.
So what inspired you guys to start the gallery?
Well, I've been making a living at this since 1968. I have my 1040s to prove it. I've sold so many paintings, I have no idea how many anymore. And I have a house that's just jammed full of them because I can't stop painting. It's just something that it's like breathing for me. And so my daughter, Danya, she's the one that had a gallery first in Jemez Springs, because the family owned several properties there. One of them was a bakery. And so they turned the bakery into a gallery.
Okay.
That was her first endeavor. And the last year they were open, she sold $85,000 worth of my paintings. Lovely. Which was like, wow, right? And I've been showing in Santa Fe regularly for all the time I've spent in New Mexico. I've even had 2 of my own galleries there. But Moon and Dove started about 10 years ago in Corrales down by Gallery Row. Okay. But my daughter Danya saw this place and she says, oh, I love this space. And so she took it over and she started renovating it. And we've been here and building up a clientele. The economy is what prevails, but we do well enough. You know, we don't have to sell every day, but we sell painting maybe once a month.
It's a lovely spot. So what made you and her choose Corrales as the location to open up the new gallery?
It's just beautiful. It's just a nice place.
Corrales,
and it's close. It's close. John and Danya moved down to Rio Rancho from Jemez.
Okay.
And so she wanted to continue doing the art theme in her life. And then her thing is how to design everything, how to place things, how to pick things. And so that's how she expresses her artistic soul, basically. until all the kids are gone, and then maybe she'll start painting again and making jewelry again.
Well, I say Corrales is the perfect place, to open an art gallery. It's just
Beautiful.
It's a little community.
Yeah, and there's a gallery next door, and there's galleries down the road. They're trying to really get it to be an art center, Corrales, and they appreciate that. And I like it. I like coming down from Hames.
Okay, so these are your one-of-a-kind handcrafted pieces.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about your story and what drives you to create these.
Well, I did some jewelry early on and when I was in college, and I really wasn't that fascinated with welding. I enjoyed it, but I'm not opposed to making it, but I gave all my tools to a friend because I decided I'm not going to play with fire anymore. And so my friend got an apartment next to the house that I had bought in Brooklyn. And one night I went up there to hang out with him at the end of the day. And here he was working with wax and making things out of wax to be cast in lost wax, which I understand. And I picked up a piece of wax and I started playing with it. And it was like drawing on a three-dimensional surface. And the first thing I did was a portrait of my wife. And I took home, he said, take some of it home and everything. And then he cast it up for me and it came out and it was like, wow. And then people saw the portrait I had done of my wife on the circle, and people were so enthused, they started commissioning me to do portraits of them or just a round face that they could purchase.
Very nice.
So that rolled, man. That made thousands of those faces. I made some for the Whitney Museum for Andy Warhol for his introduction to his off-Broadway play, Man in the Moon. So that was a big commission, obviously, from the Whitney.
Okay.
And I've just been making them forever. And I used to go up 6th Avenue in the Village in New York City and collect knockoffs. People trying to emulate or copy
What you were doing?
what I was doing. And when I left that studio, I had a big party and I gave them away to all the people that came to the party. But each of the cuffs are one of a kind because you can't make a mold of them. Mm-hmm. And I've taught this process at the New School in Manhattan and at NYU, and I taught graduate courses and even was offered the department head of the three-dimensional school of art, and I moved to New Mexico instead.
Hey,
But I'm still making the jewelry.
Very nice. Well, thank you. I appreciate you sharing your story with us and a little bit of what inspired you guys to start the gallery.
The gallery is a family gallery. My son's work is here, sort of popish. This is something that he would do as paste art in New York, on buildings in New York. And then he does all these fabric things, and he has shows, he makes originals, then he makes them into stickers, t-shirts, pretty much anything, hats. But each one is an original piece of art to begin with. So that year, he'll make a new piece and show it in the gallery, or several pieces for the gallery. But the one that is for that year is usually on the shirt. Like if it's a horse, and it'll have an 11, because that was in 2011. So that's part of how he does it. He also did the ED as his monogram, sort of like Albert Dürer, he said. And it's an homage to me. His friend said, Ed, don't you realize that that is ED, the name you gave him, Dylan Egon, but it's also Ed as an homage to his father? And I said, oh, how beautiful is that? My daughter is very creative and a real artist in her own right. These she saw on the road, and she harvested them, made them into Christmas trees for her first Christmas here in this gallery, and has been making them ever since. She sells them, and people just love them. It just gives you an idea of how creative she is, along with the rest of the family.
Living in Corrales means immersing yourself in a culture that celebrates creativity and community. Corrales is more than just a village. It's a vibrant hub for artists and creatives. The community's dedication to the arts is evident in its events, like the Corrales Arts Studio Tour, where local artists open their studios to the public. This is Tara Diaz, your local real estate gal. Again, if you're thinking about moving to Corrales, if you're just looking for places to explore, hit like, subscribe, ring the bell, and I'll see you in the next video.